Canada is quietly gaining access to the 10 most luxurious Chinese SUVs that America is completely locked out of. And the gap between what you can buy and what your neighbors to the south can only dream about is growing every single year. We're talking about vehicles from brands that are outspending Mercedes, BMW, and Lexus on research and development by billions of dollars annually. Billions. You heard that right. And while Washington is busy building walls around its auto market with tariffs and trade bans, Ottawa left the door open just wide enough for Canadians to walk through and drive something extraordinary. These aren't knockoffs. These aren't cheap imitations. These are the real thing, and America is furious. Starting at number 10, the vehicle that proves Huawei isn't just a phone company anymore. 10. Huawei Aito M9. When most people hear the name Huawei, they think smartphones, they think banned tech, they think the company America tried to bury. But Huawei had other plans, and the Aito M9 is what happens when one of the most sophisticated technology companies on the planet decides to build a luxury SUV. From the outside, the Aito M9 stops you cold. Over 198 inches in length on a wheelbase of 122 inches. A long hood, flush door handles, a panoramic roof running almost the entire length of the cabin, and a front fascia so clean it looks carved rather than assembled. This is a vehicle that makes a statement before you even open the door, but the design is just the appetizer. Inside, Harmony OS powers a widescreen display spanning nearly the entire dashboard, processing voice commands, monitoring driver attention, managing climate, entertainment, and navigation simultaneously, with a response speed that makes every other luxury infotainment system feel like dial-up. Your rear seats recline to nearly 160 degrees. You are not sitting in a car. You are sitting in a first-class cabin. But here is where it gets serious. Over 1,000 horsepower in its top configuration, 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 4 seconds. You heard that right. Combined driving range pushing past 750 miles. Range anxiety is not even a conversation worth having here. In Canada, the Aito M9 comes in at approximately 90,000 Canadian dollars. A fully loaded BMW X7 will cost you the same money and give you a fraction of the technology. The Aito M9 does not compete with the X7. It embarrasses it. But if you think Huawei set the bar high, wait until you see what Lynk Co brought to the table at number 9. 9. Lynk Co. 900. You have probably never heard of Lynk Co. And that is exactly the point. While the world was watching Tesla, BMW, and Mercedes dominate the luxury SUV conversation, Lynk Co. was being built by the same parent company behind Volvo and Polestar Geely. And the 900 is their most dangerous statement yet. From the outside, the 900 is what happens when Scandinavian restraint collides with Chinese ambition. Over 200 inches in length on a wheelbase of 124 inches wide, planted and commanding, without being aggressive. A full-width LED light bar dominates the front end, and the roofline looks athletic without sacrificing rear headroom. This is a vehicle that looks expensive from every angle, without needing a badge to prove it. But here is what the establishment does not want you to know. A Yamaha-tuned audio system with 23 speakers surrounds you. 23. You heard that right. A heads-up display projects navigation directly into your sightline, and every surface you touch, every single one, is leather, open-pore wood, or soft-touch material. There is no hard plastic. None. Then came the tension. Over 550 horsepower on a plug-in hybrid powertrain with a pure electric range of over 75 miles, enough for most Canadian daily commutes without burning a single drop of fuel. Combined range stretches past 700 miles. What you feel inside is closer to floating than driving. In Canada, the 900 comes in at approximately 85,000 Canadian dollars. For a 3-row luxury SUV at this level, that price is not just competitive, it is almost offensive to the establishment, and the establishment knows it. But what Lynk Co built with refinement, NIO built with pure disruption. And at number 8, they did not just change the game, they changed the rules entirely. 8. NIO S8. Most luxury automakers give you a car. NIO gives you a membership. And once you understand what that actually means, you will never look at a traditional luxury SUV the same way again. The ES8 commands attention without screaming for it. At 199 inches in length, On a wheelbase of 120 inches, the exterior is clean and deliberately understated. Retractable door handles flush with the bodywork, a panoramic glass roof flooding the cabin with natural light, and a full-width light signature up front that makes it unmistakable in traffic. This is a vehicle that carries itself the way old money does, quietly, effortlessly, and without needing to prove anything to anyone. But here is where NIO makes every other luxury automaker deeply uncomfortable. The ES8 runs on a battery swap system, not a faster charger, not a software update. An actual physical battery swap taking under 5 minutes at any NIO power swap station. You pull in, the automated system drops your depleted battery, slides in a fully charged one, and you are back on the road before most people have finished paying for their coffee. You heard that right. Under 5 minutes. While the rest of the industry was debating charging speeds, NIO solved the problem entirely. Inside, Nomi Neo's artificial intelligence companion learns your preferences, anticipates your needs, and controls every system through natural conversation. You get a 105-inch augmented reality heads-up display, 23 speakers, and rear seats reclining to nearly 160 degrees with individual climate and massage controls. Every surface, every stitch, every material choice was made to make you feel like this cabin was built specifically for you. The ES8 in its top dual-motor configuration produces 580 horsepower, 0 to 60 miles per hour, in 3.9 seconds. Real-world range over 350 miles, and when that charge runs low, you are not waiting, you are swapping. In Canada, the NIO ES8 starts at approximately 80,000 Canadian dollars, including access to NIO's battery-as-a-service subscription model. It is a business model so disruptive that traditional dealers do not even have a category for it. But there is a brand at number 7 that took everything the industry thought it knew about fast charging and made it look prehistoric. 7. Zeekr 7X. If you have never heard of Zeekr, that is about to change. Because what Zeekr did with the 7X is the kind of move that makes legacy automakers lose sleep. This is not a brand trying to catch up. This is a brand that skipped the line entirely. From the outside, the 7X is sharp, architectural, and deliberate. A fastback roofline flowing into an integrated spoiler, a full-width illuminated light bar up front, flush door handles, and a stance so wide and planted it looks sculpted in a wind tunnel rather than drawn on a screen. Every line has a purpose. There is no decoration for decoration's sake. But the design is almost a distraction from what is happening underneath. Zeekr paired the SEA platform with 800-volt charging architecture. Most electric vehicles charge on 400-volt systems. 800 volts means the 7X adds over 200 miles of range in under 15 minutes. You heard that right. The conversation about waiting at a charging station simply does not apply here. Inside, a 15.4-inch touchscreen, a wide-format augmented reality heads-up display, and a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 processor manage your entire digital ecosystem without breaking a sweat. Zero-gravity front seats, with heating, ventilation, and massage. Rear seats with their own reclining and heating controls. A panoramic roof spanning nearly the full length of the cabin. Then came the tension. 641 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. Real-world range over 320 miles, Canadian winters included. In Canada, the 7X comes in at approximately 65,000 Canadian dollars. At that price, you are not choosing between the 7X and another Chinese SUV. You are choosing between it and a BMW X5, a Mercedes GLE, or a Volvo XC90. Lay them side by side, and the European alternatives start to look like they are from a different decade. Because in many ways, they are. But if Zeekr rattled the establishment with technology and value, what is coming at number 6 will make you question everything you thought you knew about what a luxury SUV is even supposed to be. 6. Rock 01. For decades, if you wanted a luxury SUV that could genuinely handle the wilderness without sacrificing the interior of a 5-star hotel, there was really only one answer: Land Rover. And then the Rock 01 showed up. And Land Rover has a problem. The exterior is boxy, upright, and deliberately imposing a flat roof, vertical pillars, and a front end designed to intimidate mountains. But here is what separates it from every other rugged SUV you have ever seen. It manages to look genuinely luxurious at the same time. Flush door handles, a full-width LED light signature, and precision panel gaps tell you immediately this vehicle was not built to a budget. There is nothing else like it anywhere in the world. But then you look closer, and this is where it gets dangerous for the establishment. An intelligent hydraulic suspension raises your ground clearance to over 13 inches at the push of a button. 13 inches. You heard that right. The Land Rover Defender offers 11.5. The Rock 01 does not just match the Defender, it steps over it. Inside, a heads-up display overlays live off-road telemetry wheel articulation angles, terrain gradient, individual wheel traction status directly into your sightline. Premium leather and Alcantara throughout, a Meridian audio system, and a panoramic sunroof. You are not being asked to choose between comfort and capability. That choice has been made for you. Then came the numbers. Over 500 horsepower across all four wheels, combined range pushing past 800 miles, weighting depth exceeding 33 inches. That is not an SUV number. That is an expedition vehicle number on a machine that also happens to have Alcantara seats and a Meridian sound system. In Canada, the Rock 01 comes in at approximately 80,000 Canadian dollars. Land Rover has had decades to build this vehicle. A Chinese startup built it in a fraction of the time. And that should terrify every boardroom in Solihull. But if the Rock 01 conquered the wilderness, what is coming at number 5 was built to conquer something far more exclusive, the world of state-level prestige. And it carries a name synonymous with Chinese national power for over 6 decades. 5. Hongqi E-HS9. There are car brands, and then there are institutions. Hongqi, which translates directly to red flag, has been the official state vehicle of the Chinese government since 1958. Every head of state, every official procession, every moment of national ceremony for over 6 decades. And now, you can own one. If you live in Canada. If you live in America, you cannot. The E-HS9 announces itself with total, unhurried confidence. A long sweeping hood, a roofline arcing gracefully from front to rear, and a full-width chrome light bar that feels unmistakably contemporary. At 208 inches in length, on a wheelbase of 130 inches, it wears every inch with quiet dominance. When you step out, people notice, not because it is flashy, because it carries itself like it belongs, somewhere important. But here is where the tension builds. Hongqi could have coasted on prestige and delivered something merely adequate. Instead, open the rear door and you find individual Napa leather throne seats, heated, ventilated, fully massaging, and reclining to nearly 180 degrees, nearly fully flat. In an SUV, your own climate zone, your own entertainment screen, and a center console finished in genuine wood veneer and metal that would not look out of place in a private jet. The audio system was tuned entirely in-house, because when you are driving the official vehicle of a nation, outside help is simply not an option. Then came the most impressive part. Over 650 horsepower. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds. Real-world range over 380 miles. On a smooth highway, what you feel in your seat is closer to a luxury yacht than an automobile. In Canada, the E-HS9 comes in at approximately 110,000 Canadian dollars. The Mercedes GLS, the BMW X7, the Range Rover, none of them were built to transport heads of state. None of them make the statement that a Hongqi in your driveway makes, that you know something about the automotive world that most people around you simply do not. But what is coming at number 4 is something altogether different. A collaboration so unlikely and so technically ambitious that the Western automotive industry still has not fully processed what it means. 4. Avatr 11. What happens when Huawei's technology division, CATL's battery engineering, and Chang'an's automotive manufacturing all walk into a room and decide to build something extraordinary? You get the Avatr 11, and the Western automotive industry has no answer for it. From the outside, the 11 looks like it arrived from a decade ahead of where the market currently sits. A sweeping fastback roofline, a seamless closed-off front end with a full-width light bar, flush door handles, and a body so aerodynamically resolved it seems to cut through the air rather than push through it. At 194 inches in length, on a wheelbase of 119 inches, the proportions are near perfect. This is not a vehicle that tries to look futuristic, it simply does. But here is where it gets uncomfortable for the establishment. The 11 puts Huawei's ADS intelligent driving system directly in your hands. LiDAR, radar, and camera fusion processing your environment in real time with a level of situational awareness that makes every other driver assistance system feel like it is guessing. Harmony OS powers your entire digital ecosystem through natural voice conversation, zero-gravity front seats, a panoramic roof spanning the full length of the cabin, every surface finished in premium sustainable materials. This cabin was built around you, not around a showroom floor. But this is just the beginning. 578 horsepower, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.9 seconds. Real-world range of over 350 miles, with fast charging adding over 150 miles in under 20 minutes. Whether you are on a wet Canadian highway or pushing through a mountain pass, you simply find grip and go. In Canada, the Avatr 11 comes in at approximately 75,000 Canadian dollars. That price is not just competitive, it is a statement of intent to make every other luxury electric SUV in this price bracket feel obsolete. But what is coming at number 3 does something no other vehicle on this list can do. Something that made every engineer in Stuttgart and Solihull put down their coffee and pay very close attention. 3. BYD Yangwang U8L. You have heard of BYD, but you have not heard of Yangwang. And that distinction matters, because Yangwang is not BYD's mainstream brand. Yangwang is what happens when BYD removes every compromise and builds something purely to dominate. The U8L is that answer, and nothing else you can buy in Canada today comes close. From the outside, the U8L is massive, muscular, and completely unapologetic. A wide, boxy silhouette, a commanding front end, a full-width LED light bar, and a stance so planted it looks bolted to the road rather than parked on it. At 210 inches in length on a wheelbase of 123 inches, every inch of it is deliberate. This is not a vehicle that blends into traffic, it owns it. But here is where your understanding of what an SUV can do gets completely rewritten. The U8L gives each of your 4 wheels its own dedicated electric motor. What that means in practice: activate tank turn mode, and this vehicle rotates on its own axis, a full 360 degrees, on the spot. You heard that right. And then, if that was not enough, drive it into water and it floats. Sealed body, electronically managed buoyancy, moving through flooding that would strand every other vehicle on this list. This is not a party trick. This is engineering with no Western equivalent. Inside, a quad-screen cockpit, a Dynaudio premium audio system, zero-gravity front seats with full heating, ventilation, and massage, and a rear cabin finished in Napa leather with individual climate and entertainment controls. No budget existed when this cabin was designed, and it shows. Then came the numbers. Over 1,100 horsepower, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.6 seconds. In a vehicle that can also float. Combined range stretches past 800 miles. In Canada, the U8L comes in at approximately 150,000 Canadian dollars. The Bentley Bentayga cannot rotate on its own axis. The Range Rover SVR cannot float. The U8L does not compete in the luxury SUV segment. It creates its own. 2. Zeekr 9X. You already met Zeekr at number 7, but the 9X is a completely different conversation. This is Zeekr showing you what happens when technology becomes invisible, when every system, every surface, and every detail exists for one purpose only: to make you feel like nothing else in the world matters except the road ahead and the cabin around you. From the outside, the 9X is large, elegant, and completely self-assured. A smooth flowing silhouette, a fastback roofline, a full-width illuminated light bar at both ends, and a body so precisely resolved it looks less like a production vehicle and more like a concept car that somehow made it to the road. At 199 inches in length on a wheelbase of 121 inches, there is no aggression here, just presence. But then you open the door. Your front seats are zero-gravity recliners with heating, ventilation, and full massage. Your rear passengers sink into individual Napa leather throne seats with independent recline, heating, ventilation, and their own entertainment screens. A Yamaha premium audio system with over 20 speakers surrounds you. Close your eyes in the rear seat, and you will struggle to convince yourself you are not sitting in a recording studio. But here is where the tension builds. Wrapped around all of that refinement is a powertrain with absolutely no interest in being subtle. Over 800 horsepower, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds. You heard that right. 800-volt charging adds over 200 miles of range in under 15 minutes. On a Canadian highway in winter, what you feel inside is closer to silence than motion. In Canada, the 9X comes in at approximately 110,000 Canadian dollars. The Mercedes GLS AMG, the BMW X7M, the Audi Q8, none of them wrap you in a cabin this refined, while hitting 60 in 3.5 seconds with over 800 horsepower. The 9X does not ask you to choose between performance and luxury. It makes that choice feel childish. And yet it is still number 2. Because what is waiting at number 1 is a vehicle so ambitious that most Canadians have never even heard its name. Until now. 1. Voya Taishon 9L. You have made it to number 1. And if everything on this list has shifted the way you think about Chinese luxury SUVs, the Taishon 9L is about to finish the job completely. This is not just the best Chinese luxury SUV you can buy in Canada in 26. This is one of the finest luxury SUVs on the planet. Full stop. From the outside, the Taishon 9L commands the kind of attention that money alone cannot buy. A long sweeping hood, a full-width LED light bar spanning the entire front fascia, and a rear end so perfectly balanced it looks designed from both ends simultaneously. At 212 inches in length on a wheelbase of 131 inches, it is the longest, most commanding vehicle on this entire list. It never feels excessive. It feels inevitable. But here is where the tension builds. Voya did not build the Taishon 9L to compete with the best luxury SUVs in the world. They built it to make them feel insufficient. Step inside, and what surrounds you is not just a luxury cabin. It is an argument. Individual Napa leather throne seats reclining to nearly 180 degrees, nearly fully flat, in an SUV. A center console finished in genuine wood veneer and brushed metal that would embarrass most private aircraft. An in-house tuned audio system with over 24 speakers. 24. You heard that right. This is not a sound system. This is a concert hall on wheels. Then came the most staggering part. 4 independent electric motors producing over 1,200 horsepower. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.2 seconds. 900 miles of combined range. America cannot buy this. America cannot access this technology. America is sitting behind a wall of its own construction, watching Canada drive away in something they can only read about,